Hey guys, it's your girl Infinity here, and I am bringing you my take on the bracket predictions and the fantasy card selections for day 5 for Dota to the International 10. This will be my first video since I was just trying to get enough data about my fantasies and make sure I'm getting things right so that I feel it's useful to share with everyone, and I've been able to consistently stay on top of the 90%, so definitely keep watching if you would like to get my input on this. I'm gonna give the bracket prediction first, and after that I will give the player cards as they are both linked and it will be helpful to know the bracket first. Also, I'll be sharing tips on how you can choose your cards and also about how you can potentially complete the Royal Flush achievement of getting the 18 complete sets of player cards. So let's quickly start off with the bracket predictions. As you can see, some are already filled in because I was testing out how to choose the options. You can't just choose one and then click a drop down. That doesn't work. You have to choose whichever team is going to win here, and when you click that, they will flow down to the next column. So starting off, upper bracket, IG versus T-Spirit. They chose T-Spirit, and IG definitely a very strong team, so it's a given that IG will win this match. They might even 2-0 them, or it might be a best of 3, like 1-1, and then whoever wins the third one. Secret versus OG. Now this is the biggest hyped one. It's hard to know which team wins, but based on the group stage performances and OG's nature, even though the game is going against them, they always have some way of coming back and they're never completely out of a match. So I'm gonna go with OG over here, but you guys can choose whatever you feel would win. That's totally up to you. Then PSG LGD against T1. T1 is a very strong team. I don't know if LGD will 2-0 them or whether it'll be a best of 3. When I say best of 3, I mean each team wins one and then the final game decides the team that will go on in the upper bracket and the other team goes to the lower bracket. So here I'm still going to choose LGD, even though I do think T1 has a good chance in this international to make it to one of the top teams. Then VP versus VG. This is also a tough one because these are two very aggressive teams, but I feel that VG has a little bit of an edge because they are aggressive but they're also very strategic. So I will go with VG here. And then IG versus OG. I believe IG will win. PSG versus VG. Of course, it's going to be PSG LGD. And this one, I believe LGD will win the game between these two teams, and the final winner would be LGD according to me. This is complete upper brackets. Now in the lower brackets, Undying has a better chance over Fnatic. Fnatic has been strong, but Undying has come out as like one of the top 4 teams in the group stage in that group. So Undying definitely seems strong here. Quincy Crew versus Aster. I think Aster's gonna win just because they have explosive gameplays. So, and Monet has really surprised us with his Ursa. So I don't know, I just feel that they have an edge, and if they're put under pressure they could win, and it's a best of 1, so they might go for their best draft. Beast Coast versus Alliance. I think Beast Coast is definitely gonna win. EG versus Elephant. Elephant is pretty strong, but EG I believe is a little bit stronger. It's a best of 1, so EG would bring out their best. Those players playing at their best, it's definitely gonna be EG. They're veterans here. Then Team Spirit versus Undying. Undying. And Secret versus Aster. I think Secret would win here. T1 versus Beast Coast. T1, because Carl has been doing really amazing. I think they're going to make some amazing plays. VP versus EG. Aggressive team versus full late game farming team. I think EG knows how to drag their games out against aggression, so I might go with EG here. And Secret versus Undying. This is a tough one. Let me go with Secret for now. T1 versus EG. T1 could win. So I'm gonna go with T1 just because I'm really impressed by their cores and they make amazing comebacks. The game with T1 versus Thunder Predator is a great example. The game 2 of that matchup. So I'm gonna go with that. VG versus Secret. I think Secret would win that, and OG versus T1. I think T1's really good, but they haven't really done as much to be against a team like OG and not tilt and be under all that pressure of TI. So maybe OG is gonna win that. And again, we have Secret versus OG, where OG will win. IG versus OG, IG, and then PSG, LGD. So yeah, that's the bracket predictions. Next, I will go on to fantasy. And just before fantasy, I'm going to talk about the player cards. So as I mentioned, right now I have a lot of the cards already with me. For the Royal Flush, I have 12 out of 18. So I just need another 6 cards. And I got this without buying a single set of cards. How I got so many is firstly because I got like a win per day. So I managed to get the daily cards each time. And then in the beginning, all I did was recycle the duplicates and keep at least one card of every player. And in certain cases, for certain teams, I kept the silver card and the bronze card for the players, because if the team is going to get eliminated and I have those duplicates, I might as well recycle the gold card for fight dust and just let the bronze card stay there, so I get more dusts that way. So that's one tip which you can use. And I would suggest continuing to collect the daily cards up until the finals, because the achievement is available till the end of TI. So don't go recycling these duplicate cards if you have multiple gold and silver cards and bronze cards, because you can just keep the bronze cards in the end and recycle the gold and silver if you haven't used them. And that way you get more chances to open new cards, and you don't necessarily have to buy player cards for it. And then also, based on all the daily packs that you open, you might get the missing cards, and at the end you can decide if you really need a specific card, and based on how many dust you have left, you can craft a specific card. So that is my strategy. You guys can use it too if you're interested and don't want to really buy a pack of cards. Now moving on to the fantasy. Here, as I said, I was able to stay within the top 90% for all 4 days. So I believe that the metrics that I used to choose these cards each day were pretty good. And here, even though Uris didn't do as well as I wanted him to, I still stayed within the top 90%. So I do have a bit of leverage on my predictions if you would like to consider choosing the cards that I choose. So it's totally up to you. So for 12th, we have 2 of the upper bracket games and all the lower bracket games. So we're going to focus on the upper bracket games and the players cards for those, because first of all, the lower bracket games are all best of ones. So there's just going to be 1 game of each team. So it's totally not worth it. You're not going to get that many points. And in the upper bracket, you can focus on which team is mostly going to go for 3 games instead of just 2 owing their opponent. And secondly, you can choose based on your stats of the cards or the player performances. Another tip to choose your player cards is if you have like a gold Nisha and a gold Emo and you don't know which card to choose because both are good, some stats that you can consider that for course, you go by the kills first, then tower kills, deaths and team fight in the specific order. So these are the most valuable stats for course. And for mid, it would be runes grabbed, then kills, team fight and death, specifically in that order. And supports, this would be mostly for that support would ward the most, so make sure you choose that card, because in secret, even though Puppy is 5, he doesn't place as many wards. It's Yapsaw who places the wards, so be really careful about that. And go by the stats of observer wards first, then camp stack, then team fight, and then stuns. So stuns sometimes doesn't give that many points, but if it is like a gruesome game, they do give a lot of points in stuns, so it can be considered. So these are the stats that are more valuable compared to others based on the roles. So definitely consider those if you're confused between which card to choose if you have multiple good cards. Now quickly getting into it, for the course, I am gonna choose Sumail for sure, because he has given amazing points across this entire 4 days of the international. Regardless of whether OG wins or loses, they're definitely gonna have amazing points on Sumail. And it's better to choose one card from the separate matches, because at least one of them might have 3 match series instead of just a 2-0. So I'll go for Sumail, and here IG's core fly. So I'm gonna choose fly here. But if you don't have a Sumail or fly card, then you can go for Matumba Man. He's really amazing. Or if you don't have Matumba, then you can go for another core that you would prefer. But I would generally suggest don't choose offlaners because they don't give as many points. So these should be your top 3 picks for the cores. And in mid, Nisha has given amazing points on day 2, but IG's Emo has given the highest average across all the days. So I would suggest going for Emo. I think I have a Nisha card, I'm not sure. Yeah, I have a Nisha Silver, but I'm not going to use it because I feel that Emo is more valuable than Nisha. So I'm going to go for Emo. That's my take. But I feel that OG and Secret might go for 3 games, so that might kind of go in Nisha's favor, but I'm not too sure. Here you can choose whatever you want. Topson has always been a little lower than Nisha and Emo on average, so I'm not really considering Topson here, but that's up to you guys. I'm not really considering Team Spirit for these, but again, that's up to you guys if you want to put it, because I feel like IG might mostly stomp Team Spirit, but I'm not sure. Mostly, this is all my opinion. And then finally for support, it's 100% guaranteed that you have to choose Yapso. I really hope you guys have Yapso cards, because he has been obtaining so many points. He's like on level with the core, so he's really good. And the other one, I would suggest going for Kaka, because he has also been in the top 25 average scorers for the fantasy. If you don't have a Kaka, then you can go for a Saksa, and if not Saksa, then Ollie. But Notail and Puppy don't give that many points, so I'd suggest not to go for those. And the reason these two are really good is because like Yapso has even scored more than Nisha on an average, so Yapso is definitely a must pick if you have the card. So this is my lineup for day 5, and I will let you know if I'm gonna do a day 6 or not, based on tomorrow's timelines. So yeah, I hope this helped you guys, and I hope you all get a lot of points. See you next time.